guys, happy Saturday. I believe it is the 9th of November. It's a cool and kind of gloomy Saturday here in Kentucky. I think I'm in Kentucky. I'm on my way to South Carolina. I'll be heading out in the morning. Right now I'm on my 34-hour break, and I was just laying down in the back watching a couple of YouTube videos and scrolling through Facebook a little bit, and I was sharing videos back and forth with my buddy Juan. Some funny videos we've been sharing between us, and I said let me come on for a few minutes and talk to you guys. You know, even though I was scrolling through YouTube and Facebook, I wasn't finding a whole lot of things to watch. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube and Facebook, of course, but you know, it's certain subjects or certain things that are out there that are being presented in the world that I just have no interest in. You know, it's just a lot of nonsense and a lot of stuff that just continually dumbs down society and just, you know, perpetuates and influences people in the wrong direction. A lot of negativity, a lot of foolishness, and I have no energy. I have no energy and no interest in any of that stuff. So as of late, trying to find something to watch on my downtime has been a little bit frustrating. You know, I like documentaries. I like, you know, stories that are about real life events, real life happenings. I like informative videos, something to make you think, something to inform you of things that are going on in the world that you might not be aware of. And of course, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, so I'm always interested in the different topics that are being discussed, the new discoveries, the things that are being found out. So I'm always interested in those types of subjects. But then, of course, you've got the whole van life, bus life, RV life, off-grid living, alternative living channels and videos that I'm also interested in. So I like to find new channels, new creators, and new topics of interest related to that lifestyle as well. And of course, trucking and some of the other things that I enjoy, like camping and fishing and hunting and all of those kind of outdoor activities. So even though there's a myriad, even in those areas, of different people posting things, you know, sometimes you just find that the information and the videos are very repetitive. It's the same stuff. People are talking about the same subjects. You know, all of the videos start to look the same, and the creators start to look the same, basically. And it's like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I thought I would just come on for a little while and just talk to you guys, find out what you're up to, and again, let you know what I'm up to. Now, in the area of van life, bus life, RV life, and all of that, in the last video when I informed you guys that I have graduated from training here in the trucking industry at the company that I'm working with, I also forgot to tell you guys that I had started looking into different companies to work on the bus. My goal, I'm really hoping to get this bus conversion done by the end of summer next year. That's the goal. But part of the delay and why this bus thing has not happened is just finding the right people. Finding the right people, finding the right company that can do the conversion. If I was in better physical condition, some things would have already been done. I would have done the demo on the bus. The seats would have been out. The ceiling and the floors and the walls would have all been ripped out. The insulation probably would have been done, and I probably would have put down the flooring myself. But because of my physical limitations with the sciatica, I couldn't accomplish that. So I'm definitely going to need some help. And unfortunately, because van life, nomadic life has become so popular, even in the eyes of the media. You've got different media outlets doing reports on it now, interviewing people and having them talk about their conversions and why they got into this lifestyle and all of that. Now, because of its popularity, not only has the price of vans and conversion vehicles skyrocketed, but even some of the people who started living this lifestyle for themselves, who had some of the skills to do the build themselves, that eventually went on to start their own companies doing this type of thing, even they are charging astronomical prices to do this. It's ridiculous. I remember when I first was introduced to this lifestyle, and I followed a lot of these creators who did their own build, and they were so successful and they got so many compliments from others that they started doing builds for others. And they were charging them, but they weren't charging them a lot to do their builds. But then, like I said, as the popularity amped up and more people wanted, help with their builds or wanted them to work on their builds, the prices just slowly started etching up, just moving up, inching up. And now, if you ask one of these guys or girls who started their own company to do a build for you, most typical prices start in the $50,000 range. And that's for a basic looking build, nothing extravagant. You're not using like really high-end materials or anything like that. It's just a basic build. And I'm like, are you serious? So anyway, I had started looking into some companies thanks to the help of another YouTube friend of mine, also another creator and Facebook friend who actually lives in my state. She and I connected recently, and we talked. We've had several conversations. And one of the reasons that I wanted to reach out to her, I had been looking for her for quite a while now. She had stopped making videos for 2 years. She kind of went black on YouTube. She was going through some things. She was wrestling with some things. Amongst them, she had lost her mother. So I know part of her absence was just her grieving. But I had been looking for her because I could not remember the name of her channel. I thought I knew what it was, but each time I looked for it on YouTube, I could not find it. And it turned out that it was actually the name that I thought it was, but for some reason, each time I searched it on YouTube, it would not come up. But I ran across a video of hers recently, and that's how I reconnected with her. And so I had been looking for her for so long because I remember in one of her videos, she talked about the company that she went through. She has a van. I think she has a Ram ProMaster. But she talked about, she named the company that she went through here or in my state where I live. And her build was really nice. I liked the work that they did on her van. So I'm like, I need to find out what company that is, because I had been looking for companies in my area and I couldn't find anybody. I couldn't find anybody. So I'm like, how does she find this company and who are they? What kind of work do they do? So when I saw her video, I wanted to give them a call and see if they work on buses as well. So she gave me the information to that company. I did get in contact with the owners. Unfortunately, because of the size of my vehicle, they weren't able to accommodate it. Their building just was not large enough to accommodate the size of my bus. They're used to working on smaller vehicles like vans or smaller. So she told me not to give up hope, that there was actually 2 other companies that she had researched also. She didn't get any work done through these companies, but these were 2 other companies also in our state. And I'm like, how did you find these companies? Because when I was looking, I couldn't find anything. But she gave me the information to these 2 other companies, and I contacted them. And the first place that I contacted, again, I got the same type of answer, that my vehicle was too large and that they didn't have the space for it to be able to work on it. So the third company that I spoke with, the young man that I spoke with, again, initially he told me that they didn't work on vehicles, large vehicles. He didn't know what kind of vehicle I had. I didn't tell him what kind of vehicle I had. But he said that they specialize in conversions on the Sprinter van, on the Ram ProMaster, and the Ford Transit. Those are the 3 vehicles that they work on. And so I said, okay. I said, well, I was looking for somebody who would be able to work on a larger vehicle. I said I had been referred to you guys. I'd actually been referred to a couple other companies, but they told me because of the size of my vehicle, they didn't have the space to accommodate it. So he asked me what kind of vehicle I had, and I told him I had a bus. And he told me that, well, actually, they had done some work in the past on a couple of school buses. And so he was like, well, what kind of bus do you have? And I told him, you know, it's an International Crystal Coach. And so we kind of talked a little bit more, and he kind of told me what they do at his company, and he invited me to come and take a tour of their facility. He wanted me to come and see the facility, see some of the projects that they were currently working on, and be able to sit down with some of their engineers and, you know, draw out a design and find out what all I wanted to put in the bus or on the bus, and so they can kind of come to an estimate as to what the job would cost. So of course I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited about it because I'm like, finally somebody might be able to work on this bus. So just out of curiosity, I asked him in that initial conversation, I said, can you give me like a price range, what a typical build will cost you on a van? I didn't even say the bus, I said on a van. On the vans that you guys have done, what's the typical price range for a conversion? And he said to me somewhere between 30,000 to 100,000 is the typical price range. He said, or more. It depends on what all the customer wants to include in their build. So I'm thinking to myself, $30,000 to $100,000. That sounds like a lot for a van. And that's not even including what the customer pays for the van itself. And you know, some of those Sprinter vans could cost you like 80 grand just for the van. So right then and there, I knew that if I was to go with this company, it's probably going to cost me more than what I had initially kind of thought I was going to put into this bill. I don't have a budget. And I really didn't have an idea how much it was going to cost, but initially I was thinking I was going to put maybe $30,000 to $50,000 into this build. Well, if he's saying $30,000 to $100,000 for a van, then I'm thinking it's going to cost me a little bit more than 50 grand for my build and all that I want to include in it. So we concluded the conversation. He said he was going to send me an email with some more details and information about the company. I told him that I'm a full-time over-the-road truck driver and that right now I can't give him a date that I would be available to come and do the tour, take a look at the facility and all of that, but I want to. And so he, through the email, we corresponded a little bit back and forth for a little while, and then he wanted to do a virtual video chat because I couldn't give him a specific date and time that I would be available. So he was like, oh, if you can't make it to the facility, we could do it via video. So I said that's fine. So we had planned to do it on the 16th of this month, but I had an early day where I shut down early because of the scheduling. And so I sent him an email and I told him that I was available today, later on today, if he wanted to give me a call. And so he called me and we chatted a little bit more. And he told me a little bit more about his facility and why they're different from all other companies that are out there. And the information that he shared was good. But then he, at some point, asked me what was my budget and how much did I want to put into this build. And I told him, just like I just told you guys, I don't have a budget. It just depends on, who can do the work and what it's going to cost me. And so I told him, I said, but initially I was thinking somewhere between $30,000 to $50,000. And this guy said to me that, yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to cost you closer to $200,000 and up. And I said, what? $200,000? I said I could buy a brand new RV for $200,000. And he was like, yeah, but it wouldn't be personalized and all of that. And I said, yeah, exactly. I said, that's exactly why I prefer to build a build of my own that's customized to my personal needs, my personal desires, my personal likes, opposed to some cookie cutter RV setup that you only have 5 options to choose from with the floor plan or maybe the tile color or the cabinet pattern or wood grain or whatever. Yeah, I didn't want that. RVs typically have things that are incorporated into their floor plan that would not serve me. So why am I paying for it if I'm not going to utilize it? And then on top of that, with all of the research that I've done prior on vans, on RVs, on buses, and before I even chose which vehicle I wanted to go with, because initially I was going to try to purchase a van and do a van build. And then I quickly realized that a van is not going to be big enough for me. I'm bougie, y'all. I like to dress. I have to have stuff. I'm sorry. It's part of my personality. Whatever. But so I knew right away a van was not going to be big enough for me. I was going to need something larger. I need some space. And so I had thought about an RV. I entertained the thought of an RV for a little while, and I had actually looked at one I was thinking to purchase. But then when I started doing the research on RVs, I quickly discovered how poorly they are constructed. And again, it doesn't matter the price tag that's on it. Doesn't matter how sparkly and bright and clean and well put together it looks on the inside. What matters is the construction and how that thing is going to hold up over time. They're not built, number one, to be lived in full time. They're recreational vehicles. They're seasonal vehicles for your entertainment travels. They're not meant to be home on wheels. They're not to be lived in full time. So a lot of them are not equipped with insulation, or much insulation, if it has insulation at all. So it's not meant to go into cold climates. It's not meant to be all season. Now they do have some all season RVs. Don't get it twisted. They do have some. But again, with the all season comes a much higher price. But overall, they're not built for safety. And that should be one of your number one concerns when you're on the road. If a bus were to wind up in an accident and roll over, your chances of survival are probably 100 times more than what it would be inside an RV. RVs are just not built for safety. They have no safety features in them. They have no safety protections in them. If your RV were to roll over, you can count it a loss. And if you're inside of it, you might be lost as well. They're not built for safety. Like I said, they're seasonal vehicles for your recreation, for your entertainment. It's not meant to be lived in, and they don't have high safety ratings. Buses, on the other hand, are built for safety because typically they carry people, they carry passengers, they carry children. So the safety features that are built into a bus are much, much higher, and then aside from that, the engines and the transmissions that are in buses can go 1,000,000 miles. I can't say that about an RV. I just can't. And everyone I have ever known that has owned an RV or that currently owns an RV, they're always complaining about the yearly cost to maintain them. They like, because they're not well constructed, there's usually costs that accumulate with use. And they come on you rather quickly. A lot of people complain about leaky roofs. A lot of people complain about issues with the black, gray, and freshwater tanks as far as the hoses, the lines, leaking or breaking or whatever. There's a number of complaints that people have with RVs, and that's the side that isn't talked about a whole lot. When you go to these RV dealerships, they sell you on all the features. Oh, the granite countertops, oh, the marble tile, this, that, and the other. It's all about the aesthetics, but it's not about how well put together this vehicle is. Most times they use cheap building materials. And so, like I said, it doesn't matter how big that price tag is on it. And it doesn't matter how sparkly and shiny and how good it looks and how many slide outs it has if it's a piece of crap on the inside. And that's just keeping it real. And don't get me wrong, this isn't to knock RVs. That, if you use them right, you can have them for years. But yeah, that, like I said, they were never meant to be lived in full time. So they're not built according to that particular standard or those standards, the kind of standards that you would need in order to have a vehicle for a long time and be able to live in it full time. But anyway, getting back to the story. So when he gave me that $200,000 and up quote, I said to myself, yeah, they're probably not the company that I'm going to go with, because I know for a fact that I have seen numerous, and I do mean numerous, videos of other content creators who bought their own bus, bought their own RV, and did the renovations themselves. And it didn't cost them anywhere near $200,000 to do it. And their buses or RVs turned out very nice. Very nice. So I know that there's people out here who can do what I'm asking them to do, and it's not going to cost me $200,000. So I'm going to wait, and I'm going to keep looking. But the search has begun. The search has begun, because I want to get this bus done as soon as possible. As soon as humanly possible, so that I can get it off of this property it's currently on, and so that I can move out of that property. I don't want to pay rent, mortgage, utilities, taxes and all of that anymore. I'm done with that. I've owned houses. I've had property. I don't want that life anymore. I do not want that life anymore. I want to be free. I want to be free from this systematic robbery that we've been accustomed to, that we've been slaves to. I don't want to be a slave anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I want to be free with my time as well as my resources to be able to help people better. So that's the plan, guys. That's the goal. And the sooner I can make it happen, the better. If you guys have any ideas, any suggestions, if you know some people that do this kind of work, I'm willing to travel to the right person or right company. It's just that it would have been nice to be able to get the work done closer to home. That way, periodically I could stop in and check on the progress, make a few videos for you guys documenting the process, and all of that. I would just hate for my baby to be so far away from me, and the fact that I'm on the road now constantly. I'm here, there, and everywhere, which is going to make it that much more difficult for me to stop in and check on the progress and see how everything is going. But yeah, I've always been open to taking it to another state if I have to get the work done. As a matter of fact, some of the other people that I know who have the skills and have built out other buses that I was originally seeking help from, whose prices are astronomical. Yeah, I do know some people who work on buses, or have worked on buses, have worked on their own bus and worked on other people's buses, who can do the work, but they live in other states. So I was perfectly willing to take my bus to them until they gave me a quote on how much it would cost. And I'm like, are you serious? Really? Okay. No. No, we're not doing that. So, yeah, but it's gonna work out. I'm gonna eventually find the right people, or right person to do the job, or to help with the job, because I'm still physically able to help. Now, I can't do it all myself, but I can help out. I do have some skills. I'm not an expert of any particular trade, but I have a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of skill in a few things. I have a little plumbing knowledge. I have a little electrical knowledge. I have a little carpentry knowledge and skills, so I could help out. I can help out, but I definitely cannot do it all myself. But so yeah. So if you guys have any ideas or suggestions, or you know some people, you got a cousin or you got an uncle or somebody who's handy with tools and gifted in different crafts, then yeah, drop that information in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, definitely look into it. Yeah, but that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I was just chilling in bed on my day off. I'm gonna wait. It is cold outside. Oh my gosh. I got up this morning to use the bathroom and I had to throw on this little sweater like shirt because it's chilly. It is chilly in Kentucky. I want to go take a shower, but it's freaking cold outside. I don't like being cold, but yeah. Eventually I'm gonna make my way over to the showers and take me a shower. And yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, what are you guys up to today? What do you have going on this weekend? Anything exciting? Drop that in the comment section too. I'd like to read your comments and see what's going on with you guys. It's not always about me, guys, these videos. I share them with you, but it's not always about me. And I appreciate every time you guys leave a comment or ask me questions, or even like the one young lady asked me to do, or two, because Crystal asked me to do a video about my travels. So yeah, when you guys make suggestions about making a video for you guys, definitely I will take that into consideration, and if it's something I can do, then I'll get it out to you. And any questions that you have, I don't have a problem answering, unless it's a little too personal. And like I said before, I don't have no problems telling you no. It's none of your business. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get on out of here, and I'm gonna get some heat going in here because it's starting to get a little cold. And then I guess I'm gonna lay back down and try to find me something else to watch or something else to do. I've done pretty much my little chores around my little truck house, so there's not much in here for me to do as far as cleaning and prepping and all of that, getting my stuff ready for the week coming up. But yeah, I'll find something to keep myself entertained in the meantime. But I will talk to you guys again soon in the next video. You guys be safe, stay blessed, be well, and I will see you shortly. Take care, guys. Bye.